Hello, W9TVX here, and today is the fourth in the series of videos about SDRStudio, and the first in the series of videos about the various components that you can use to construct your own custom widgets. I strongly suggest you watch the first three videos if you're not familiar with SDRStudio, as you might find them quite useful for background information. So today we're going to talk about the action command component. What this component is essentially a button that gives you the ability to create these macros that execute a sequence of commands against the radio or slices in the radio. So what we'll do is we'll first add a action button, and the properties on the action button are the standard widget. The properties on the button are the action plan. We'll talk about that. That's sort of the heart and soul of this component. But in addition to that, there are attributes that you can set, such as the button foreground. I can change that. You can change the button background, etc. Button label and what's not. However, that's just all visual. Eye candy, if you will. The heart of the button is the action plan. And when you click on this configure plan button, you get presented with the action plan editor. The action plan editor is two panels. On the left side are the available commands based on the target that's selected. On the right side is the plan, which is the set of commands that you choose. The target can be essentially the radio or a slice. Radio commands, available commands, are things such as, setting the carrier level, setting CW break-in, setting a dynamic expand, whether you want it on or off, etc. And then, as you would expect, the slice commands are slice-related commands, like turning AFN on and off, setting the slice frequency, so on and so forth. And the way you create a plan is you essentially double-click an available command, and it pops over into the plan area and becomes part of the plan. So you can kick a couple of these, and as you can see, we've added being able to set the AGC off level, the demodulation mode, and if we want ANFT on. When you're dealing with a slice, you essentially, for each slice command, you have to select the slice that it impacts. And you have a choice between one of the named slices and whether it's the transmit or the active slice. And then again, you can set the value with the slider. And depending on the type of the parameter, it'll be like a slider, a drop down, it might be a toggle. You can also reorder commands by clicking on these arrows here. You can see I can move things around. So these are slice commands. I can also add like a radio command. You have a search area, so I'm going to type RF. I'm going to use RF power. I'm going to set the RF power to 55. You get the idea. It's just this doesn't particularly make sense what I've done here, but we'll look at some concrete examples. And then when you save that plan, it essentially gets associated with that button. And at runtime, if you click on that button, those commands are executed. I think the best way to show this more clearly is to look at an existing example. And in the library widgets that ship with the application, we have a mode band presets widget. So I'm going to click on that, and I double clicked on it. I'm going to click on it, and we get it appearing on the canvas. It is grouped, as you can see, so I'm going to ungroup it, and then I'm going to pick, let's say, 15 meters FT8, and we're going to look at the plan. And it's got 6 commands. And what happens is if I click on that button, essentially my RF power will be set to 6 watts. Since I use a linear amplifier, so that puts the power within a reasonable range. I set the frequency for the transmit slice to the FT8 calling frequency. I'm going to set my demod mode to digital upper. I'm going to set the preset filter for digital upper to 6K. the pan adapter bandwidth to 100 kilohertz, and I'm going to mute the slice audio. So that's what that does. And as you can imagine, I'm going to cancel out of that. All these various buttons that I've configured in the mode panel presets will set the radio up for that particular mode. Anyway, that's a brief overview of the action command button or command control. Hopefully it's useful to you. Hopefully you'll find this extremely useful. It is really quite powerful. You can do a lot with it. We will continue on with further videos going and discussing each of the components. This is W9TVX. Hope you will download and try SDRStudio. Thank you.